Hello, this is Martin Cole from gardeningstepbystep.com. So this morning I've got a little project that I'm going to do with my daughters where we're going to make a wildlife pond or a water feature. Sounds quite grand. It's not so grand as all of that, but I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. So this is Louisa, who's going to help me, and she's standing next to the trough that we're going to use. That's right. So we inherited this trough when we bought the house. Not really sure what it would have been used for in the past, and it looks like it's seen better days. And I've obviously planted it up, but it's in a shady spot where it is, and those plants are not going to do very well anyway. So we'll see if we can put it to better use. First step will be to empty out the plants and have a look to see what's inside. Obviously, there's probably some kind of plug hole, drainage hole in the bottom. If we're going to fill this with water, then we're going to have to seal that up. Now we've cleared out the soil from the trough. Louisa's doing a good job sweeping up. And what we're seeing is that there are some drainage holes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, a root has found its way up into the trough, probably from the surrounding shrubs. So we're going to get this up, clean it up, and then work out how we're going to make these drainage holes watertight. So we're on to the next stage with this trough. What we've done to block up the drainage holes, this is a concrete trough. So I had some postcrete, obviously used to fix fence posts, and I've put some of that into the drainage holes, and that's dried overnight. And I've swept away all of the loose materials, and now I'm going to go over these holes with some mastic, which I'm going to kind of fill the holes in. I think I need to get some sort of scraper to flatten them out over the area. And then obviously, once we've done this, we'll need to leave this to dry, and then we'll have to test it to see whether it's in fact going to be watertight. So it's a slightly experimental process, but like all good DIY gardening activities, there's always an element of experimentation to it. So we'll flatten this off, we'll scrape these over and flatten them off, and then we'll come back to you and show you us testing it with the water. So mastic has been smoothed over into across the holes, and it's set enough for me to put some water into the trough to test it, and it looks as if it's been successful. I've managed to move the trough a little bit across here, from here to here, so I can see that there doesn't seem to be any evidence of any water leakage from underneath the trough, so that's looking positive. So we can then take the next step, which will be moving the trough over to the corner there on the other side of the garden. So next step, while we wait for the mastic on the trough to dry off, is dig out the hole. So you can see we're going to put the little trough in this corner of the garden here, and I've marked out the size and the position with these bamboo sticks. So it's really just a matter of digging it out to the right depth. What we will do is not bury it completely flush with soil, because if that happens, then we're going to get all sorts of soil falling in. It will become murky, we'll get weeds, there'll be too much nitrogen, it will be full of algae and so forth. So we'll have it protruding, I don't know, maybe a couple of inches, perhaps a little bit more, and then we'll surround the edges with rocks and plants. We can be a bit creative once we've got it into the soil and ready to go. So we've got the trough in position and leveled it up as best that we could, or as best as I could. I probably could have done a bit better levelling it. The girls are now filling it with water. We put some grit in the bottom, which accounts for that murkiness of the water. I think that will settle down over a relatively short period of time. And as I said, we will get some rocks, plants. We'll do some creative work to just sort of soften the edges and make it seem as natural as possible. So there we have it. There's the final product. Got the pond filled. It's looking a bit murky because the gravel, there's sand and bits of debris within the gravel. I think that will settle down. We've got a Kauther, a marsh marigold in the water, surrounded it with some plants. There's some Muehlenbeckia, which will probably spread out across up towards that fence. Some astilbes at the front, Astrantia on the right hand side. So the interesting thing now will be to see what happens. What sort of wildlife do we get? Do we get any frogs? Do we get any water boatmen, pond skaters? Let's see how it develops over the next week or two, and into the longer term we'll probably find some more plants to thicken up around the edges, and we should have a nice little spot here, something interesting for the kids, and something that we can watch as it develops. So thanks for watching this video. This is Martin Cole at gardeningstepbystep.com, and there's lots more gardening information on the website, so find your way there, sign up for the newsletter, and hopefully speak to you again soon.